Hello, I'm Roma Downey. Welcome to It's a Miracle.
Coming up next on It's a Miracle. She desperately needs a new heart or she will die. But it would take a miracle just to get to the hospital.
The air started rushing through the cockpit. We knew something bad had happened.
Then, she loved playing matchmaker when she was alive.
She did this ultimate match made in heaven.
Is she doing it now from beyond the grave? And the miracle behind an adoption nightmare. How did these two kids, taken from a Russian orphanage, end up in the same small town half a world away? Now on It's a Miracle.
As you'll see in tonight's show, the human heart is truly an amazing thing. It can be broken repeatedly and then repaired. It can be separated from its one true mate and then restored. And as a woman in Canton, Missouri found out, it can stop beating in one body and then miraculously save a life in another. Linda Horner of Canton, Missouri had always been the picture of health.
She was always working and doing things. I mean, she just never sat down.
But one day she noticed her daily routine was not so routine.
I realized I was short of breath when I would do the ordinary things. And when I would go out to work in the garden, I just couldn't hardly catch my breath. I knew that something was wrong there.
Something was wrong. Tests revealed that Linda's heart had enlarged to 3 times its normal size. She would need a heart transplant. Devastating news for this 56-year-old mother of 3.
I just thought my life was over as I knew it. I was just glad that I had done what I had done. I was glad I had raised 3 sons and was happy that they were all on their own in our family.
As Linda anxiously waited months for her new heart, she found comfort in precious family memories.
I was going through pictures and dividing them for my sons in their different boxes. And my son from Springfield called me, Randy, and he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, you're not going to believe this, but I'm going through pictures. Do you remember those baby ducks that we used to raise when you were small? And he said, why would you think of that now? And I said, well, I'm looking through the pictures that we had. And I had been labeling on the back what it was, and I wrote on the back, baby duck. I laid the pictures down in the box at the foot of the chair and went on to bed. And at 1:30 in the morning is when I got the phone call. Hello?
Linda was airlifted to a hospital in St. Louis.
When we were in flight to St. Louis, I was saying a prayer because I knew that someone had just lost their loved one at that moment.
28-year-old Sherry Holsapple, a single mother of 4, was on her way to a special family date.
She was going to pick up her youngest son at school, and I had her 2 older sons in the car with me, and I had her baby daughter in the car with me. And we were headed in the same direction, and it was her day off, and we were going to celebrate. And we were heading north on 55. And she was in the far right lane. There was a piece of metal in the road, and it sliced her right front tire. And she was steering, trying to correct, and she couldn't. And I saw her hit the concrete wall, and her car flipped multiple times.
I was at work and I got a phone call, and it was my wife, and she told me what had happened and how severe it was.
And we were told what I knew I was going to hear, and that was that she was brain dead. And in 24 hours, there was no increase in activity. There was no brain activity whatsoever. And she was very adamant that her organs be donated. And I thought I have to do what she asked me to do. And about 1:30, Thursday morning the 8th, they came to us and told us, you need to go say your goodbyes to Sherry. We're going to take her to the OR and we're going to take her organs. We did that.
Sherry was referred to as Baby Duck, and her love of ducks would even define one of the last moments Dee would share with her daughter.
The morning of the accident, I was at her apartment, and she hugged me and kissed me, and she told me she loved me. And she said, you know, Mom, I'm just your baby duck. And an hour and 15 minutes later, she was brain dead.
But if Dee and Gary had any doubt about their decision to take Sherry off life support and donate her organs, they were about to get an extraordinary message. Just as Linda Horner was finishing her prayers in the helicopter,
All of a sudden there was a crash. There was a loud crash, and the whole heavens opened up.
The window shattered. The air started rushing through the cockpit, and the doors popped open.
The nurse, Angie, she told me, she says, we've hit a flock of ducks. And I looked down, and I felt something in my arms moving, and it was a duck. And I found comfort in that duck, and I didn't understand why.
Somebody asked us, did we hear about the helicopter going to Barnes Hospital, taking a patient to get a heart? And it was hit by ducks. And I just looked at my husband and I said, that person's getting Sherry's heart.
Linda was on the road to recovery, and it wasn't long before she could receive a special visitor. Gary Holsapple, coincidentally a cath lab technician there at the hospital, wanted Linda to know something about the woman whose heart was now beating in Linda's chest. He told her something miraculous.
Gary came in the room, and he embraced me, and we had our tears, and he told me all his story, and he told me about Sherry and her love of ducks.
For some reason, she's always had a unique appreciation for animals, and for some reason, like little children, she liked ducks. And one day she got in trouble, and my wife got onto her.
And later on we went to the mall and she bought me a baby duck. And she came up to me and she pouted her lips. She had beautiful lips. She just pouted her little lips and said, but Mommy, I'm just your baby duck. Well,
As time helped Dee to deal with her loss, she was finally ready to meet Linda.
yes. I just stood up and we embraced and cried and talked for 3 hours. And just couldn't believe all the similarities between her and Sherry. And it just opened the door to a wonderful relationship that we still have today.
On the 1-year anniversary of Linda receiving the gift of life from Sherry, Linda gave Dee a gift she will cherish for the rest of her life.
And she just took my hand and she placed it on her chest until I could feel the heart beating. And I just closed my eyes and I just savored the moment. And all I could think about was, if I had not agreed to donate Sherry's organs, I couldn't be standing here a year later feeling her heart beating in someone else. And to me, that's just the most awesome concept.
Sherry's organs went on to save 3 other lives.